Conversation after he and other veteran politicians were denied the National Unity Platform flag. That was just a few days ago. Tickets, my next guest has been on various media houses claiming that the people power revolution is being stolen by what he called, unquote, selfish people in the National Unity Platform. Today we want to ask and find out where the flag bearer tickets party of the promise for the politicians who joined the Robert Chagulani's National Unity Platform. With me I have Honorable Mabikke, Machinje East Member of Parliament aspirant. Good morning, Honorable Mabikke.
Good morning, Stephen. I'm very glad to be here.
Okay, it has been long since we had this conversation.
Sure.
And Honorable Mabikke, I'll start with this. Where have you been? First of all, you are in DP, and then you left DP, and then you returned, and then you went to National Unity Platform. So as a politician, which platform do you stand for?
Let me tell you one thing, guys. One thing that is constant in politics is the struggle.
Okay.
When you're struggling for power, because you know there are many categories of politicians. There are those who struggle to change things. And to change things, you need to have power, you need to be in government. Yes. That's one category. Then there's a category of politicians who just want position. They don't mind about power, they don't mind about government, but they want to be members of parliament, they want to be they want to be councillors, and they are satisfied. And then there are that category of politicians who actually are not interested in positions, but they just support a progressive agenda. Now, when you trace me, I am one of those politicians and leaders in Uganda that have been struggling to change government. Now, when you're struggling to change government, you move according to situations. Political parties, Stephen, are not the end in themselves. They are just a means to the end. It's like a Corona car. Oh, sorry, yeah, you have to have a Corona car. And when you're driving to Entebbe, that's your destination, that's your end. And around Namasuba, you realize that this Corona vehicle cannot actually move me there. You can now ask for Pajero. And that's why you see that
is if
politicians, yes, politicians and leaders who have succeeded have actually moved places. Let me give you an example. Yoweri Museveni began in
DP rather.
Moved to DP, moved to Fronasa,
yes,
moved to UPM, moved to there was a progressive force that he formed before joining with the Lule to form NRM. So he's moved because
do you draw your inspiration of jumping from one
not
party
at
to
all.
another?
Let me give you another good example. Uhuru
Kenyatta.
He was in his father's party, KANU. He moved to NAC. He moved to another to PNU. He moved again. Let me give another example of Kibaki. He was in KANU. Yes. He moved to DP. He moved to NAC. He moved to PNU. That's why he actually ended. Now that's what it means. No, it's because Ugandans have not grown, have not matured in politics. Yes. They have not actually. Our level of politics compared to the rest of the region is still very low. That's why when somebody moves, they say, now this one's changing. Now you know this one's changing.
We are not sure.
It is because it is because you don't know the power game. You don't know what it takes to get government. But the people have taken government. They have to move because these political parties are just vehicles. They are not the end in themselves. The end is government. To get in there. Yes.
Now you've been an MP before.
We have moved. We did start the UID. We made our contribution in the Democratic Party. We realized it was not moving very well. We actually formed another party.
Yes,
we moved back to DP in the DP block. Still there was confusion. We decided to move to NUP, where now we think that we have made a huge contribution for the last 3 years, building the People Power Movement, and eventually building the NUP. So we have been part and parcel of this process, actually.
Before we got to NUP, I was there the day you launched the DP blog. It was at Africana.
Great.
The speeches, each one of you was submitting there were movers, there were movers. We were like, okay, for the first time, we have everyone in one block. What became of the block? Subsequently, people started to break out. What was it? Intrigue? Was it power? Was it money? What broke the block?
The block.
Because you've always been honest with us, the media, we need to know what became with the block.
The block is still a block.
Mr. Mabikke, it's not the block when you're not there. When what took you in the block is not still standing.
The block is still a block minus no but Mao.
Okay.
Actually, the block is still a block minus no but Mao. And perhaps this is the problem now we're having in Noop. Because we moved in as a block. Minus no but Mao.
Yes.
And perhaps that's even where our problems began, because people still look at us as the block.
Yes, the DP block.
In other words, the DP block is focused. The DP block is intact. And whatever we do anywhere, it is quickly noticed. And perhaps it's a problem now we're having inside Noop. Inside Noop, when we joined Noop, there were many other people who came from other parties. There were those who came from the NRM.
Who felt disgruntled?
Like the Secretary General of the party now. He came from NRM. Like the Deputy Secretary General Aisha Kabanda came from NRM. Like the chairperson of the Electoral Management Committee came from NRM. And Kea, also another member of the... Those are the prominent people who came from NRM.
Yes.
They are there. Now, we came from the DP block. And now inside Noop, there seemed to be a clash of interest. Those who came from NRM and even those who came from the DP block. And this is why what perhaps the problem could be.
Where was the clash? Was it when the DP block came? Was it automatic that I, Mike Mabikke, I'm going to be given the flag for Machinje East, and I'm going to stand because I came from the DP block, and this is a conversation we have had with the president of Noop? Or was it something to do with a lot of self-impotence? We have some people who came from NRM or from the other parties or FDC. They felt, I am stronger here, so I'm going to be given whatever benefits that are here.
Wow. Now, what is happening is that there are some people who say, these fellows feel entitled. There's a feeling of self-entitlement.
Yes.
Far from right. Before joining Noop, because we initially opposed the idea of Noop.
Oh.
Yes, because we knew who Kibalama was.
Why did you oppose the idea? Why did you oppose the idea?
We actually thought that we would use one of the parties of the DP block, because in the DP block we had DP, we had SDP, we had the PDP and TJ, and we had two registered parties. We could have used one of them.
Okay.
And that was our position, because we thought that Mr. Kibalama was not so reliable that it was very difficult for us to actually move.
Had you worked with Mr. Chibalama prior before?
Well, we had
in the lines of politics.
We had been with him in the NCD and other fora which bring together political parties. So we actually told Mr. Bobi that Kibalama is the sort of man who will face the camera and say, "I'm sorry." And indeed, our prophecy came true. It happened. Now,
so Bobi just listen.
Before joining, because we said, okay, in the DP block, our idea was let's build one mass party that brings together everybody.
From the different parties.
And let us have the DP as the lead agency, lead party. We had wanted to change the DP constitution to provide for a party president and a party presidential flag bearer. We had wanted Robert Kyagulanyi as the presidential flag bearer of DP. We had wanted Norbert Mao to remain as the president of the party.
General of the party.
We had wanted to bring Abed and everybody else on the national executive committee of the party. Make this a real mass organization.
Did Mao embrace this?
Oh, unfortunately, we had a discussion. That's why we moved in the DP reunions. That is why we worked together in the respective by-elections that happened in Jinja, in Bujiri, and in Arua, and subsequently whatever happened. Now, unfortunately, every other day, we could see things changing. I think there was a deliberate ploy to frustrate that. When we realized that there was a ploy to frustrate that, It was Mr. Kyagulanyi who backed out first.
He saw it coming.
The way I see Norbert Mao moving, I think we don't have a way there.
That
is when it began discussions secretly with Kibalama. We were not part of the discussions with Kibalama. But even when that happened, anyway, we were convinced that we no longer had a way inside the DP because apparently it was a different course and we had a different vision. So we decided to move inside NOP. Now, in moving in NOP, there was an agreement.
You're still on the agenda of the bloc?
Yes, there was an agreement that, look, we are moving with 11 MPs.
Okay.
And these are fellows who are adding clout to a political party. It is wise that these fellows have their positions ring-fenced. Unfortunately, at the conclusion of the process, you are having two members of parliament, Mr. Sajjari Abene, Honorable, and Mr. Kasibante, who actually had a bad deal. In as far as that clause is concerned. Two, we had three principals. We had myself, we had Mr. Mukaku, we had Abedi. Automatically, we said, now these are principals, these are leaders of political formations inside the DP bloc, and if at all they want a position, I think that should be also ring-fenced. And apparently, it's only now Mr. Abed Bwanika who has not had a bad deal. I had a bad deal. Well, we also say that it was also good that as a principle of democracy, that if at all we are to decide on the other positions, members of parliament and councillors, we ordinarily should have party primaries. Because
as
primaries,
NUP.
yes, of course. Because, party...
You see, I think that's where the problem is, Mr. Mabikke. You cannot say you're coming from the DP bloc with 11 MPs and you're ring-fencing their position, yet you're vying for democracy. If you're coming in NUP and NUP has young, vibrant youths who are going to challenge you, you take up the mantle, you say, let it be. Why do you ring-fence it before you even come? So, okay. It's more like bargaining. It's more like business to you. Yeah, it's not democracy.
It's not business. It's not business. But as you know, they are when a member of parliament is not a small man, a small person. A member of parliament comes with the whole constituency, especially if he's popular. He comes with huge. He has the numbers. Comes with numbers into the political. One man like this can be followed by 30,000 fellows.
Indeed.
So that one's not a small person. A member of parliament in most of the democracies, even if he's a congressman, is a highly respected person.
Indeed.
You cannot treat him shabbily. You cannot treat him like you treat any other person who has not yet become a member of parliament.
We are not treating them.
That's number one. Number two, even if I was to follow your argument, I think this is where we have ended. Because inside Nopia, there has not been a party primary. Instead, there has been a selection. Now,
so when
you abandon the right thing, which is a party primary, because anyway, understandable, out of the circumstances. Now, when you abandon that line and you take on the line of selection, that means you are not using conventional means of selecting a candidate. You are using considerations. And considerations are now appropriate. Yeah, what are you? I'm a member of parliament. I'm coming with 30,000. Fine. That's a tick. That's a tick. So now inside NOP there were no party primary because, as explained, it's understandable.
Earlier on, why did you want the party primaries?
There were considerations. Now, therefore, these considerations come to the table, and they are important.
Okay.
You are a member of parliament, yes. I'm not going to guess with somebody. I'm not even sure he's going to become a member of parliament. I already have one, and is likely to take charge once I boost him. So that's a proper consideration. Two, and that's where my argument now is in Makindye. There was a questionnaire. There were two levels in this candidate selection because we abandoned the primaries. The first level was interface with the EC. Now, when you interface with the EC, they would ask you questions.
That is the vetting committee.
That's the vetting committee. Oh, Mabikke, what are your qualifications? You hand in qualifications. Oh, Mabikke, what is your experience in this job? Now, you can't ask Mabikke. You can't ask Mabikke veteran what your experience is in the job. On the job. Of course, they are 10 out of 10.
You've been in the struggle.
They ask you, what is your contribution to the struggle? At least that's the question I was asked, and I earned marks on it. Mabikke, your contribution to the struggle, everybody knows that. Since university days up to now, I am in the struggle. Now, that's where my contention is. Do you think, Stephen, that somebody who is an NRM councillor, an NRM party is a ticket carrying member at Makinde can win Mabikke on the question of contribution to the struggle? Somebody who has been moving around with President Museveni, dishing youth livelihood funds. Somebody who's even on the ticket of the NRM. Do you think that he can earn more marks when a question arises on a contribution to the struggle?
The people don't
So,
want, Mabikke, people just want service.
That's level one. That's level one.
Okay.
Because these are the considerations. Because nothing like
before
service,
the EC.
There was, before the EC. No one has asked me about the service. Because if you ask me about the service, oh, I've done schools. Oh, I've done wells. Oh, I have done health centers in there. I have contributed to youth programs, youth fund. I have had women empowerment programs. I have had football tournaments, spending nearly 20 million every parish every year when I was an MP. So when it comes to service delivery, there was nothing like that. As I'm looking at now the questionnaire. Now,
that was level 1.
That's level 1. I got 48 out of 50.
Okay,
I
we
can
go to
tell you
level
that.
2.
We go to level 2. There it's a field report. They send people in a
On the ground to assess
Now,
your...
what are they assessing? Popularity of this man.
Mabikke in Makinde.
You are assessing Mabikke's popularity in Makinde. 2, you are assessing the man's visibility. I hope you have moved to Makinde now and you can see what is happening there as far as visibility is concerned. They are asking my network. Oh, my network. I have been there. I am a resident there. I have served there. I am the more or less the leader of opposition in that constituency. So even there, I earned 48 out of 50. Now, unfortunately, I can tell you, I am very disappointed that that was changed. That all that was changed. Because
Why do you think it was changed?
Because I have got a record. Initially, there had been rumors that there were predetermined candidates. There were people who had been preferred. That there had been candidates who had been favored. That even then there was a bit of nepotism. Now, but those remained rumors. And we said no. I think we will move now because there were such fears. At the conclusion of both processes, I rushed to ensure that I get access to results because I am also connected.
In Noop as well.
Of course, I'm also connected.
So you wanted access to the results?
So indeed, I access to those results, and the original results were actually tampered with, and that's why we're having that situation. But we're not bothered.
No,
because
before you proceed, Mr. Mabikke, why did you get involved in a criteria which you earlier had issues with? From the DP block, you had vowed for primaries. Why didn't they have primaries? Did they explain that to you as a bloc? No. Because you came with 11 MPs, and here you are, you're not giving that chance. If you knew that the criteria they're going to do, you didn't agree with it, why did you practice? Why did you participate with it?
Sometimes we go to participate in the process to expose. Because, you know, when I come to you and Stephen, you're saying, I am nice, I'm good. Well, I give you a benefit of doubt. Until I now start getting to know you other ways. Yeah, somehow, if we had not participated, then we would never have seen that actually there's now a ploy. We never have discovered that inside the Noop, there seems to be the force which came from NRM that is trying to drive out those who came from the DP block. Because when you look from local council candidates who have Noop tickets to now members of parliament who have got candidates who have Noop tickets, most of them are actually NRM leaning. Most of them are NRM leaning. It's not by coincidence. Now,
what are you trying to insinuate, Mr. Mabikke?
Yes. When you also consider that members who are mainly crying a bad deal, largely from the DP block, is it a coincidence? So we never have discovered this. We also not have discovered that actually we should push for open processes, open, transparent, and fair processes, because when you see the problems now inside the NRM, they began from the bush. When you read Besige's memoirs, they will tell you that, you know, this corruption, favoritism, exclusion began in the bush. So if we are still now in the bush,
Of
This is
Noop.
our bush now of Nope. And you are seeing this happening. You must stop it before you get to government.
On the record, are you trying to say that NRM, in one way or the other, clandestinely is stealing the Noop from the back?
No, fellows who came from NRM perhaps had their bad practices. You know, we came from the DP block and we left whatever ill there. And we don't encourage anybody who came from another party to bring the whatever.
The ills from the
ills
baggage.
Because but you know, the problem is this is a new
Party, yeah.
We want to build it as the most vibrant mass political party in Uganda. We all committed to that party. So we don't want to see the ills we have been fighting for many years and that we see in other parties in ours. And that is the point of contention. So why did we participate? We know, and we said that now if we are really moving on this, it must be open.
Okay.
It must be transparent.
To the media as well.
The questions must be clear. The questions we saw. Now, at the end of the day, when you interview somebody, you vet somebody, and even give them scores, it is just good practice. And it is normal practice that you've got to publish. I have vetted Mabikke, I have vetted Stephen.
This is it.
Stephen got this on this point. And Toto Max got that. Mabikke got A, B, C, D on this. And Toto Max got that. And that's what we have been demanding. We have petitioned because we are not in agreement with whatever has been published. We have petitioned and we hope that this should be redressed as quickly as possible. Short of that, politicians have many doors.
Just backtracking a bit, me as Andrew, I believe we can find lasting solutions and measures to these. But did Bobi Wine or did the leadership of Noop append their signatures to the earlier agreements you're talking about, you're alluding to? That we're having 11 MPs, their interests have to be ring-fenced. We're having a principles among us, even the interests have to be ring-fenced, and then we go forward. Because you see, with politics, it's not just a matter of just, it's not a talk, it's more than words. Did you sign a document with the leadership in Noop about this when you're coming, as a bloc?
You know, an agreement in law, an agreement can be oral, and it can also be
written and signed.
Now, responsible fellows, if you want to be a leader, you must keep your word. And when I sit here with you
and we agree,
you got to keep your word. That's why some people say, "Oh, my word is my bond." If you are a leader and your word cannot be bonded, then there's a problem.
Did Bobi Wine give his word then?
So we got his word.
He said that's covered.
That, yeah, we got his word. In all the discussions we had many discussions. We had his word. We had the word of the other leaders of Noop in these meetings. Because there was no way we would just have moved like that.
So do you feel Bobi Wine has changed over time?
We would actually like leaders to live to live by their words, and we would even want we could even never have reduced this much in writing. We actually had a few paragraphs reduced in writing, but what was more important was the word and the argument.
If I am a voter, the picture you're painting to me, Honorable Mabikke, you're telling Bobi Wine is a Weavery character, he's a Weavery leader, who is going to agree to these terms and over time is going to change. Could it be, had you given it a benefit of doubt, that possibly Bobi Wine changed because of the structures within the Noop, that some of his agreements earlier on, maybe when he gave them before the team, they said, no, we're going to have structures and they have to be respected. Actually, did you give that a benefit of doubt?
Word or no word, I don't want to. Bob is my leader, is my president, is my presidential candidate.
But you said he changed his word.
I may not actually very much move into that. But what I would like to tell you.
But you've just said it and said.
What I'd like to tell you is that we word or no word, ticket or no ticket, the struggle is constant. We have worked with Besigye. I have warned him. I warned him many times. You are getting off track. And nobody ever expected that Besigye would actually be where he is now, because he is one of the strongest fellows that we have had.
He's a marvel.
But there were mistakes that he did that people had to lose confidence. That even people around him really said, no, now we are taking a back seat. Now, it becomes very dangerous for young people and a young emerging leader and with the young party to start losing the confidence and trust of some key fellows who have actually made a big contribution. But I think mistakes can be done. And depending on how you adjust and make amends, may perhaps determine how you move on. So
how do we fix this?
I'm not really concerned. I'm not really very, very much disturbed that we have departed from the agreement.
You know why you're disturbed?
I am not very much disturbed.
Because you're part and parcel of the NUP process, the constitution, the framework. Mabikke, you were much so involved to see that this is a new party. This is how we're going to embrace other people from the different walks of political parties. We're going to have them have a fair and fair listening. We're going to level the ground. You're part and parcel of this. You feel hurt. You feel endangered. You feel backstabbed by what you had earlier on thought vis-a-vis what you're seeing.
Okay.
And how do we mend this? So now you're a politician who is in leadership positions so as to give us direction.
So what I'm saying is that what has happened to us should not happen again.
Okay.
And why we're out talking, and why we have even made petitions, is we don't want a repeat of the same. Mabikke may not have a ticket this time round of NUP, but we wouldn't like this scenario to be repeated again. We wouldn't like a process which is not open, which is not transparent. We need to build a very, very, very strong institution, a very strong institution of the EEC. We don't want to see these allegations of corruption again. We don't want to see these because these have evidence of changing records and changing marks,
tampering
with the results. We would not like to see this again. And I think we should work together with the Electoral Commission, with the Office of the Secretary General, and all others to ensure that there is no repeat of this. And therefore, our leaders must listen, and our leaders must put their ear on the ground. I have told my friends that don't worry about the ticket.
The ticket is critical now.
No, tickets are symbols. Tickets is a symbol.
Right now,
Andrew, I can tell you today, is that those who did not get NUP tickets at the level of councillor, at the level of MPs, are more popular than those who have tickets. And you're going to see it, Andrew. And I can tell you that a ticket is a symbol. A ticket of a party is a symbol. When you get an NRM ticket, a NUP ticket, a UPC ticket, a DP ticket, that is just symbolic.
You're plugging into structure.
It is no guarantee. It is no guarantee to victory. And I can tell you, my brother, Andrew, that the man with the final ticket is a voter.
And the voter now aligns with NUP or NRM.
No.
People are voting parties, Mabikke. They are voting ideologies. Much as they align with the popularity and the personalities, but there's some ideologies.
The individual in this, I can tell you, the individual person in this. Because now when you go to Makinde and you put Mabikke here and you put the NUP carrying, the NUP ticket holder.
Flag bearer.
People will say, no, the Mabikke is the genuine one. Just go to go and make... You are in TV, you are a journalist. Yes. Drive in and ask them. Now, the person with the final ticket is the voter. I can give an example of my president, Robert Kyagulanyi. Robert Kyagulanyi, when he wanted to become a member of parliament for
Chadondo East,
wanted first a DP ticket. When he went to DP Diladali, they said, we have Kamome there, we are not sure. He said, okay, now I've closed that door. He went to Besige in FDC. He asked them for a ticket. He said, no, we can't give you. You are just coming and we have somebody there and he has been the sitting MP. He's the one who has actually been removed. He said, okay, I've also closed that door. What other door did he seek? He went to the people who have the final ticket. They gave it to him. And this is where we are now. I want to give you a second example. I am on a treason case in a Gulu.
Yes, it's still running.
33 with 33 others, including President Bobi Wine. Now, when we went to Arua, Wadri had been a staunch FDC, Deputy Secretary General of FDC. But they said, well, we are not giving you a ticket because I think you have a Muntu tendency. You remember that fight?
Yes, the mall.
Wadri said, oh, even if you're not giving me a ticket, the people of Aru are saying, oh, they understand me and they'll give me a ticket. He ran as independent. We went to support Wadri as an independent. And what happened there?
He won.
He won.
But didn't come to Nope this time round.
Oh, he didn't come to know, but yes, but he won. We made a point. Now, now we are in Andrew.
Mr. Mabikke, just a minute. My colleague Bukenya Hindustan from Fort Portal is online with us to give us an update what is currently happening in Fort Portal. Bukenya, if you can hear me, kindly give us an update what is happening with regards to Fort Portal, with regards to elections and all.
Here in Fort Portal, the Alliance for National Platform, the General Muntu is soliciting for funds to support the nomination of members of parliament who are not financially stable. General Muntu is soliciting for 700 million shillings to support the nomination of member of parliament candidates who are not in position to pay for the nomination fee, saying that the nomination fee of 3 million shillings is a lot of money to some of the youth who have interest in standing up for member of parliament in different areas of the country. General Muntu, who is on his tour in different regions, he was here in Fort Portal yesterday, and today he will be heading to Kasese, mobilizing and gaining confidence to those people the aspirants who are standing on different positions on the party flag bearer. General Muntu says if willing Ugandans who want change, if they can solicit at least 10,000 each, they can be in position to pay for radio programs that are costing at between 1 million and 600,000 shillings for talk shows. This will enable all people to campaign on radios due to the as per guidelines of the president that all campaigns should be done scientifically. Some candidates do not have those funds to pay for those radio talk shows. Thank you, Chamagara.
Colleague Bukenya on that side. That brings us now to another conversation. Honorable Mike Mabikke vying for Machinje East come 2021. Thank you, Bukenya, on the other side. Coming back to you, Honorable Mabikke, let's talk about election financing. Is it a factor? Money has been at the forefront of issues that are happening in Noop before you left, and good enough you've hinted about it here. Corruption. Is electoral financing in one way or the other destabilizing the struggle?
Very much so. And it all began with President Museveni. You know, President Museveni himself went to the bush.
He did start with
it began with him because he went to the bush. And in the bush, President Museveni said, well, I'm here because the election has been rigged in favor of UPC. He went to bush, 800,000 people lost lives. In Luwero, 800,000 lost lives. He came back. When he came here, we thought that actually Mr. Museveni would improve. But 35 years down the road, we still see the things that Obote did. You're seeing a situation where the party itself, NRM, largely relies on funding from the state. Two, you are seeing huge money whenever a time for election comes. Mr. Museveni himself has the practice of bringing large sums of money, giving to the youth, giving to the women, giving to religious leaders, giving to traditional leaders, and all these other groups whenever it's time for elections. Now, he himself in the last election, his own primary, he came out decrying the level of impunity, yes, the level of bribery in his own party. 35 years.
He said there are elements that have brought this to his party.
You see? You see? I have a friend of mine. I will not mention his name. Okay. He used 1 billion in the primary, and he lost
party primaries.
In the NRM primary. I have a friend of mine I know. He told me he used
very rich friends.
1
billion.
1 billion. And sadly, he lost.
So he lost because
No.
he was not within the clique that needs to.
So at the end of the day, you can even bribe and not get it. But it's a very sad story. But it all starts inside. Now, if Mr. Museveni cannot control bribery
NRM.
inside the NRM, how is he going to control it elsewhere? And these are all questions that we have all been asking ourselves. Now, when it comes to our other smaller outfits, our other political parties, also I think bribery rears its a bad head. There have been allegations inside my own party that some people were paid. Some people paid money. I've seen those years moving. I have also seen a New Vision report, actually. A whole New Vision wrote a whole report about these bribery allegations. But we are saying that if this is actually rearing itself inside a new party, it must stop forthwith. We should never have a situation, whether in NRM, or in government, or in NUP, where somebody pays money to have a ticket.
Mabikke.
Where somebody pays voters to be elected. I think that is unethical. I think that does not build democracy. And we should have a situation where the issues of the day matter more than the money somebody brings in. This is why, at the end of the day, we have low-quality members of parliament. This is why, at the end of the day, we have low-quality district chairpersons.
Because
this is why, at the end of the day, we have low-quality councillors. Because perhaps somebody who is better qualified, somebody who would have done a better job, does not have the money that this fellow has. So when somebody pays his way into parliament, when somebody pays his way for a ticket, you get somebody who's not deserving, who's not qualified, but who sits in the position and actually does majani, as we say.
Honorable Mabikke, bringing this back home, even before, I want to understand if you stand on party positions whenever you're making your decisions. Even before Honorable Lateef Sebagala backed out from the mayoral race, I've seen you, and the country has seen you, working with Joseph Mayanja, with Mukaku, with Abed Wanika. There is the club of you four men working together, believing in Mayanja, yet the party on the other side was trying to front Lateef Sebagala. What was the game? What was this kind of synopsis leading to?
Too much. You know, NUP is a very young party. Just 3-4 months, 2 months.
But it has veterans like you who should guide it better.
Yes, we do. We do keep guidance. The issue of mayor has been very contentious. Not only inside NUP, but also outside it.
Yesterday we had a 24-year-old who got the
actually of the entire process. That process. I don't know why many people want to become mayors of Kampala.
They want to serve.
I don't know. I'm yet to look at the agendas. But what happens is still Ugandans, I think, have a problem. Because why are you really so bothered when you see a candidate like Mayanja saying we are all members of NUP? Because Mayanja is a member of NUP.
Yes.
Mabikke is a member of NUP. We all got our tickets the same day. And there was a primary process. And the primary process, everybody thought that actually would end up with a vote. It never happened. But initially, as we conceived it, every candidate picked a team. Honorable Lateef picked a team to do campaign for him. Because a team is your preference. You, as a candidate, you say,
people who believe in you.
Andrew will do me a good. So and so will do. So and so will have open. So Mayanja inside NUP picked
Mabikke, Wanika, Mukaku.
And 20-man committee. Very, very powerful. very, because, of course, when you know that you have not been at it, you want it.
But you have people who have been there.
Who have been at it.
Yes.
I think it's just right that you approach them and say, how do you help me? So TIF had a team. Mayanja had a team as far as NUP is concerned. And indeed, we went into it. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, that process was again marred by a lot of irregularities.
Like?
I saw, for instance, that some of the questionnaire, some of the questions which are asked was like, what is your religion? You get 3. If you're a Catholic, you get 3. If you are a Muslim, you get 7. And I think we said that was wrong. Even this
was inside NUP.
Yeah, EC of NUP should never even have gotten there, because even if you talk about religion in Kampala, for instance, Catholics are 41%. Protestants and Pentecostals are 37%. Muslims are 17%. In any case,
And
the
others.
Christians and others. The Christians are the majority. So don't bring questionnaires which will actually backfire and raise tribal, raise religious
havoc,
sentiments, and also even point to issues of religious bigotry. That was very dangerous. In other words, the first person to get dissatisfied was that candidate of ours. He was so
Catholic.
so dissatisfied. He was so taken aback by the kind of questionnaire that were asked him and the way they awarded marks based on his religious beliefs. And
but you still stood with him.
we are sympathetic. we are sympathetic because we believe at the end of the day. Not many people believed in Bobi Wine. In
a nutshell.
Chadondo. Oh, when he was standing, everybody said, "How can we give this man?" You know, he had these dreads. He even was forced to cut them off. You remember?
He rebranded.
He said
Yes.
he rebranded.
He worked with the people who they know they are of substance.
Exactly. I think this was the same strategy that Chameleon was trying to employ. Now, the law, the Constitution of Uganda, provides that every Ugandan has a right to stand for a position, to be elected, and even to elect. Now, you cannot dismiss anybody because of his background. But you cannot dismiss anybody because of the way he appears. You can never dismiss anybody because every vote counts. And I think that Chameleon being number one, Mayanja being number one celebrity, actually, in East Africa, I think he has been recorded as number one. Is not a man you can quickly dismiss. Now, what do you need in politics? You need somebody who can pull crowd, who can add to the numbers.
Mabikke, Wanika.
No. But you need somebody, even if for a position of mayor. This is how Sabagala beat them all. You know, Sabagala was dismissed. He was underestimated. He beat them because he knew how to move the numbers down. He may not speak good English on top. He may not actually be properly structured, but he resonates with the people on the ground. And those are the voters, my friends. Those are the voters. Those are the ones. Somebody who makes a chivulu. One chivulu, and you have 400,000 people attending it. It's not a small person. So, unfortunately, people undermine, people dismiss, people, you know, say a lot of things. But, you know, in politics, it is, especially in democracy, when you need each and every vote, it's the numbers which count.
Absolutely.
Whoever can pull them on board actually takes the day.
Now, Mr. Mabikke, as we're going this, after you you were denied a ticket of NUP, again on social media, on your social media, I saw you in a DP card. I was like, what's going on now?
No.
So I saw Mabikke in DP. So you're coming on what ticket? We need to know.
Oh, no. Actually, that was, I explained that one. There was a young man called Akim, Akim Mutasa. Akim Mutasa had been an initial operative of ours on social media initially, but he was later, you know, had him rest. And he joined one of the fellows, actually, I was competing with, and he hacked.
Your account?
Yeah, he hacked my account.
Did you report a cybercrime?
I did. I did report to police, and I made actually a statement that it had been hacked into. And that's how he did that poster, and that's how, whatever. I really came out and explained. I really came out and refuted that actually I had not moved back to DP. I am a member of NUP. So, and even if I were to stand, I would stand as a NUP independent. But
are you coming as a NUP independent? That's what I want to hear.
I am not yet there because, you know...
So you're coming on one ticket, Mr. Mabikke.
My brother, look, I have petitioned. Nomination is Monday and Tuesday.
So you're waiting for the petition?
We are waiting for response of the petition. Because as you know, we have got to we have got to conclude. We have got to see where that ends. And now, whether it ends good or if it ends good, I'll have the ticket. If it does not end good, then I am going to cross that river when I get there. But I'm slowly getting the river, and I'm going to cross it, I'm sure.
So you let us know when you're about to cross the river.
Yes, but you know that even if I were to stand, I will stand as a NUP independent. I'm a member of NUP, and I am not going to abandon NUP. Despite my differences with the Electoral Commission, I may not abandon NUP. I am not going to abandon Chagulanyi. He's my president and he's my presidential candidate.
But you take time to advise him on some of these incumbencies that come through that are bad.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want our president to be surrounded. We don't want our president to be infiltrated. We don't want our president to be misguided. Because when we worked with him closely, you know that you could see that he was soaring high and higher. When we worked with him in Chadon East, when people were dismissing him, when people thought that the dreaded man cannot really move, when we took him to Jinja East to show up support for Mwiru, when we took him to Bujiri to show up support for Asuman Basari, when we took him to, actually single-handedly, I can say, I took the whole team to Arua. I convinced the whole team to Arua, even at.
So do you feel all this that you've done to Nob, you deserve to be given the ticket?
Can I tell this? It was Arua which was a turning point by therefore. It triggered. It triggered is a national and international status today. But initially the whole team opposed me. My president opposed me. His whole team opposed me. I told him the right thing to do now is to go to Arua. I said, 800 kilometers, what are you going to do there? Okay, if you go there, let's not go with Wadri. Let's go with some other candidate. I said, no. We are going to go 800 kilometers from Kampala to Arua. The candidate we are going to go with is Wadri. No other. But wait. The result that's going to come out of Arua. And indeed, I predicted right. That whatever came out of Arua actually showed the People Power Movement on the top and showed the status, political status of my president.
So, Mabikke, with all these, I really want to thank you for the time you've taken to talk to us and giving us this conversation. But now, while we're winding it up, in opposition, I've tried to follow a lot of conversation. The issue is to take away Museveni, like Museveni living. We're not hearing patent issues. We as citizens, we need to hear. We're not getting a clear strategic flow with regards to health, with regards to education, with regards to economic transformation and employment, especially for us, the youth. Where are the opportunities? How do we change the trajectory just to focus on just one person and we focus on the system? What's opposition doing about that?
Andrew, you are absolutely right. It's unfortunate that the process we have been through has diverted us from the real issues. The real issues now, the people of Uganda want to hear from us what is in it for them. What is the program that we have got on this? But unfortunately, because we have been now focusing on local government, we have been focusing on these, we are actually diverted. But I can tell you that we are going to quickly resolve these pertinent issues and return on the main agenda. The main agenda is to deliver for the people of Uganda. The people of Uganda are interested in change, and they want to hear what we should be able to do for them.
But feasible change.
Yes, yes, and we are saying that as a team, we should build pillars. We should build the strong pillars that should be able to help the president be able to deliver that program. And even when we take charge of government, we need to have a strong team that should be able to deliver on the promises to the people. And that is our contention. So the faster we get out of this mess, the better for the country, the better for NUP, and the better for our revolution. Because what we need at the end of the day is to have a program, to have a deliberate effort that can ultimately deliver regime change. And once we deliver the regime change, we need a strong team, strong pillar that should actually deliver on the key promises to the people, to do those things that the people of Uganda want in order to be able to change this country for the better.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Mike Mabikke, vying for the seat of Member of Parliament for Makinje East in 2021. Honorable, what could be your last words as we're winding up this conversation?
I very much want to thank you, Andrew. I want to thank NTV for hosting me. I want to really send greetings to the people, my team on the ground, which is doing a lot of work. You know, my team is doing a lot of work. Despite all this, my team, I have a robust team on the ground that is so determined.
And they have very rich friends in NRM. Someone puts 1 billion in primaries.
And they're all doing great work. So I want to thank my campaign team on the ground. I want to assure you that whichever way it is, Mike Mabikke is there for
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. Now, my colleague Stephen Mbide is standing right at the FDC headquarters in Najanankumbi. I understand that the nomination from the FDC has been pushed up from the current date to 8th of October this very year. Stephen Mbide, could you bring us to speed of the latest updates?